Hey YouTubers, Grimmy here, and this is the video review for Transformers Generations Rinox. Now, with the new Generations line, they have been doing a lot more Beast Wars figures. One of them has been Rinox, and he's a nice sized Voyager Rhino. Now, this figure is actually pretty good, nice size. Really well done and well sculpted, and we'll get right into him. Now, Rhinox's beast mode is actually well done. He's a very convincing rhinoceros. Got that nice beady eye front and a really well done sculpt. And while you can see a bunch of panel lines, just because of the nature of his transformation, it is very solid, and the coloring is done nicely. There's a lot of detail on things like the toes. Well, just a little bit of painted detail actually. Most of the detail is actually in the sculpt itself, which has a lot of folds of skin. That really makes this look like an organic rhino. The front horn is actually done pretty nicely. It's made of a softer plastic, which is natural. You don't want to gouge someone's eye out with that thing. And he's got soft plastic ears. They don't move or anything, as the cuts on the head would imply, but they still do look pretty good. And again, that nice little beady eye. And he even has a bit of an opening mouth, where you can see his teeth, which is pretty nice. The back side is made of a softer plastic, along with the tail. And the tail actually has some fur sculpted on the end of it, which is pretty cool. As far as robot kibble goes, there's not a whole lot, but there is some at the on the legs, all four of them. Like, you got forearm bits on the front legs and some robot feet bits on the back, and there's a little bit of weapon kibble coming out of the gut. It's unfortunate, but you know, beast formers are kind of iffy that way. It's kind of hard to get them completely free of robot kibble. But as far as size comparisons goes, we're going to start by putting him with his vintage version, which is this is the 10th anniversary Rinox. But as you can see, he's a much bigger, much more convincing rhino than his past form was. Yeah, this one doesn't really look like a rhino too much. Like, you can barely get the idea, but yeah, it's a little more front heavy than the back. But yeah, Rinox here, he is convincing from almost every angle, except for the bottom. But that's a common thing. It's a very convincing rhino, though. And we'll get him with a couple more max, like the other generations Beast Wars figures, like Rat Trap, which just came out, and Waspinator. So as you can see, Rinox has a nice size on the other guys, which is good. But anyway, let's get Rinox into his robot mode and see how he looks there. Getting Rinox into robot mode, we finally get the big green dude we've been waiting for all these years. And this is a nice, big, beefy Rinox. And if you want to make sure he is, well, we'll bring out Rat Trap from the same line. A little bit later in the line, but still, you can see Rinox actually does do a good job of towering over Rat Trap, which he should, because Rinox is one of the biggest guys in the Maximals team. In fact, he was able to get most of the Maximals to ride him on the first episode, which is impressive in itself. Yeah, well, let's get Rat Trap out of the way for a moment. We'll actually take a look at his deco and articulation. Well, deco-wise, he is done very well. The Rhino bits are done in this matte plastic, while the actual robot parts are done in a nice metallic green and gold. And that face sculpt, that says it all. That is a nice Rinox face with maximal symbols tampoed on the forehead, which is a very nice show accurate touch. The chest has the rhino jaw with the gold inner workings, which is very show accurate and lovely. The waist bit looks like he has a skirt from the gel. And the legs are nice and big and beefy, which is always a nice touch. And as you can see, that green plastic actually does have a nice metallic shine to it. So it offers a real nice contrast of matte colored flesh parts with shiny robot bits, which is a lovely touch. I do enjoy that. But let's get to his articulation. So he has a ball jointed head, can look up and roll around, which is pretty cool. He has universal joints, for up and down, forward backward movement. He has a bicep swivel, and a nice and a pretty decent elbow bend. There is no wrist joints, unfortunately, but that's just the way it transforms. He does, however, have a waist swivel, which is a nice plus. And then he has ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, bend at the knee, and toe and ankle articulation. He has ankle pivots, slight as it may be, and he has moving toes, which is a really nice touch. The only downside is that his hips can be a little bit on the loose side. As you can see, they flop around quite easily. I heard that this might be fixed on the Takara versions, and that one will have a more shiny look to it, because it's all going to be metallic, even the rhino skin. But I'm fine with mine. I'll have to get something to get a little friction in there, maybe try that floor polish trick for once. But let's get into his accessories, which includes 2 of these chain gun of dooms, or chain guns of doom, I guess. As you can see, there's a little button on there, and when you press it, the barrel spins, much like it does on the show. And that looks pretty nice. Sorry, I'm trying to get him to balance. As you can see, he does have this really nice spinning gun gimmick. And luckily enough, it doesn't get in the way of the transformation. Now, the guns can store in the rhino belly when it's in beast mode, although they tend to stick out a little bit in my case. I don't know if I'm doing it wrong or that's just the way they are. But that's what I got. So let's get some comparison shots in. You saw how he looked with the Rat Trap, but let's take a look at him with his vintage self. This is the 10th anniversary Rinox. And as you can see, there is a significant difference between these two. Not just in size, but in overall look. Generation Rinox really looks like a complete package robot. While the Beast Wars version is a bit more shell-formery and a little wonkier. His weapon was originally meant to be a buzzsaw with maces on it, instead of being a chain gun. But as you can see, the spinning gimmick is still intact. And Generations Rinox traded the sword that was included with the original Beast Wars version for a second chain gun. That is a awesome choice. 2 chain guns work, and I like it. And Rinox never used that sword in the show anyway, so I'm happy with that decision. But we'll get some shots in with get Rat Trap back in there. Wasn't able to dig Cheetor out, sorry. Get Optimus, the Deluxe 10th Anniversary version, and 10th Anniversary Dinobot. As you can see, these guys look pretty good together. And if you want to go all out, we'll get the oversized Optimus Primal from the 10th Anniversary series. Kind of want to get the Robot Masters Optimus Primal, because I think that would probably look really good with these other Maximals. But in any case, I do hope you guys have enjoyed this review, and it'll be my pleasure to see you guys next time. Take care, so long, and have fun. Bye-bye.